Are you looking for the best monitors for photo editing? In this video we will look at some of the best monitors for photo editing on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Dell U2723QE. The best monitor to use for photo editing that we've tested is the Dell U2723QE. It's a 4K monitor that's designed with content creators in mind, so it's excellent for this use. It has a dedicated sRGB mode, limiting the colors to the standard sRGB space used in most web content, resulting in remarkable color accuracy, meaning you won't have to get it calibrated unless you need absolutely perfect colors and white balance. The 4K resolution is also great for editing because it lets you see more detail in your images, and the 32-inch screen is big enough to view multiple windows simultaneously. Connecting to it is also easy as it has a massive USB hub with 5 USB-A ports and 3 USB-C ports. One of the USB-C ports supports DisplayPort Alt mode with 90 W of power delivery, so you can display an image from a laptop and charge it using a single cable. If you tend to work in a bright room, it easily gets bright enough to fight glare, but it has disappointing reflection handling, so it's best to avoid placing it opposite a window with direct sunlight. Number 2. Apple Studio Display. Consider the Apple Studio Display if you use a Mac computer, whether a MacBook or Mac Mini. It's one of those monitors that's an alternative to a professional display as it's a cheaper solution to the professionally used Apple Pro Display XDR. While the Dell U2723QE is still good enough to use with macOS devices, the Studio Display has features you can use only with a Mac. One of those features is its dedicated sRGB mode that results in exceptional accuracy before calibration, and you won't even need to calibrate it for the most accurate image. It also has a high 5K resolution, producing incredibly high pixel density and sharp images. It's different in a few ways from the Dell because it doesn't support HDR, but as photo editing in HDR is still rare, that doesn't make much of a difference. It's available with 2 different types of stands, but neither are as ergonomic as the stand on the Dell, so it's hard to adjust to an ideal position. However, if you prefer mounting it on a more ergonomic stand or arm, there's a variant with a mounting adapter. Number 3. Dell U2723QE. If you don't edit photos with a Mac computer and find the Dell U2723QE and the Apple Studio Display too expensive, check out the Dell U2723QE instead. It has the same 27-inch screen size as the Apple monitor, and with a lower 4K resolution, images aren't as sharp, but the image clarity is still fantastic. Besides that, it's an excellent monitor for content creation as it has amazing color accuracy in the sRGB picture mode. It also displays a wide range of colors in the Adobe RGB color space, which is important if your work requires that space. It has many of the same features as the U2723QE, as it's essentially a smaller variant. The U2723QE has the same massive USB hub with 5 USB-A ports and 3 USB-C ports, making it easy to connect to any device. A KVM switch lets you easily control 2 devices with the same keyboard and mouse connected to the computer. With its picture-in-picture and picture-by-picture modes, you can also view images from those 2 sources simultaneously, which is great for multitasking from different devices. Number 4. Dell S2721QS. If you want something in the lower mid-range price category, you can still get impressive performance if you're willing to make some sacrifices. That's the case with the Dell S2721QS, which is a step down in price and performance from the Dell U2723QE. It doesn't have a dedicated sRGB picture mode, meaning it has worse accuracy, but that's what you must expect when getting something cheaper. That said, the accuracy is still decent with no calibration, as most colors aren't noticeably inaccurate. It also has a smaller USB hub than the U2723QE, with only 2 USB-A ports and a single USB-C port, which still supports DisplayPort Alt mode with 65 W of power delivery, enough to charge smaller laptops. It's a great choice if you need to use your monitor in a bright room because it has great peak brightness, enough to fight glare, and the reflection handling is even better than the U2723QE. It has wide viewing angles that are great if you need to share your work with someone next to you. Lastly, the excellent ergonomics make adjusting the screen in different ways easy. Number 5. Dell S2721QS. If you're looking for something on a budget, another option from Dell's 4K lineup, the Dell S2721QS, is a good choice. Like other Dell monitors in this recommendation, it's a step-down monitor from the more expensive Dell S2722QC model and has fewer features. The main difference is that it doesn't have a USB hub, and you can't use your laptop's USB-C port to connect to it like on the S2722QC. However, it still has DisplayPort and HDMI inputs, so you can use an adapter even if your photo editing laptop doesn't have those ports. Besides the difference in connectivity, the picture quality is very similar to the S2722QC as it also has decent accuracy. Still, it doesn't have an sRGB mode, so you may need to calibrate it if you need the most accurate colors possible. There are other budget monitors available with an sRGB mode, like the Asus ProArt DisplayPower 278CV or the Gigabyte M27Q, but those have a 1440p resolution, so you don't get as many details or the same image sharpness as on the Dell.